What is the truth about the flag? What do you mean, the truth about the flag? I just want to prepare your mind for this in the first place. Listen, Christians who claim to be patriotic, I want you to be honest with yourselves. And I mean, I'm at a point now to where I'm going to train myself to watch my words, to watch my tone, because when you say things in a certain manner or a certain aggression, people can be quick to kind of take and deflect your message and point your message in the direction of something else that totally has nothing to do with what the point of your protest was, what your speech was. But because, you learn those type of things all the time. You learn that just dealing with your significant other. Sometimes you could be right, but if you say something the wrong way, oh, why are you talking to me like that? Now they change it all around, but that's a different video for a different day too. But listen, but the point of what I'm saying is I'm going to watch my words to where the only way that you can't hear these things, what I'm about to say, the only way that you can't hear these things is if you don't want to, flat out, is if you're flat out evil, flat out racist, hateful, any other negative word that you could think of. And I really don't care to debate about it or to argue about it, because these things are going to be too out in the open and just clear cut for you to deny, if you have the sense that you say or claim to have. That's the point. If you have the only way that you can miss out on these things is if you do not have good comprehension skills. So check this out. But this is for Christians who claim to be patriotic. You always hear a lot of folks who are Christian/patriotic. They usually accompany the two things together. But let's find out about the truth about the flag and the protest, especially the protest. The biggest reason, one of the things that I love about being biracial is that I do feel as though I have something to offer from both sides of the table, however you want to look at it. For the most part, I have lived with one people and associated with one people. I mean, I've always associated with everyone, but I have more of a deep-rooted history of exactly where they're coming from with one side. Whereas the other, I can understand some business structure and some business terms, but when it comes to the manner of how some of them or most of them look at people when they're dealing with business, it's not humane. So I feel as though I can bring some things to the table and try to have us meet in the middle. And the point is, I would advise, I'm not going to say that I would warn, but I would advise folks on the other side to listen to the talking, because the talking is only working for so many things and really hasn't worked for a lot of things. So the thing is, try to find where people are coming from, because you can have those that are trying to talk to you like me, or you can have others who there's no telling the lengths or the depths they're willing to take it to in order to get their point across. So while we are trying to speak with you, be godly if you say you are godly. Be supreme like a king if you feel as though you are supreme. Be wise like Solomon in judgment if you feel as though that's what you are. Hear these words. See if they line up with the words that come out of that Bible. Because when it comes to business, certain Caucasoids know that numbers don't lie. And that's what everything that they do is based off of. So if you claim to be a Christian, you have to also understand that the Bible does not lie. So just bear with me. All I'm saying is prepare your mind for what is about to take place and for what is being said. You understand? Listen, the whole point of the protest, when it comes down to black folks wanting equality, black folks not wanting to be killed in the streets like dogs, a lot of whites sit back and act as though that has nothing to do with them. And it may appear that way. But what is taking place and what is happening that most whites in America cannot see is how much they are being lied to as well. Blacks are not the only ones being messed over. There are many whites that are in the same predicaments as blacks, whether it be financially, but yet they're thinking in their head that it's due to something else or someone else, when really no, it's the same government that has their foot on the necks of blacks. So the point is, there's so many lies. Even though your life may be all right, white man or white woman, you're still living according to so many lies that this government has given to you or has told to you. Unless you're in that minority that is extremely rich, extremely wealthy, in which case at that point you really don't care about anything that anyone is talking about. God himself has to speak to you in some form of fashion, whether it be through touching your body or touching your finances, even though we don't wish any harm towards you. But you're not going to hear someone like me speaking. This is only for those who can be level-minded and still have some type of fear of God. If you say that you fear God, they say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And so many people who are so quote unquote patriotic when it comes to this flag claim to be Christians. So let's talk about truth. Are you a truth finder? If you're not a truth finder and if you don't want to know the truth, you're not patriotic, if that's what being American is supposed to be about. See, being American means that you're supposed to be able to question the government once you start seeing things are not going on in a manner that are supposed to be, that are beneficial for you and your people. So if you're not being treated fairly, your right as an American is to scream out and say, hey, I need help over here, y'all. Someone is breaking the law. Someone is not being fair. Well, when it just so happens that the government is the one who's doing these things, we like to just, turn and not look at it. But you have your brothers and sisters crying out to you, telling you that something is not right. For you to not listen, for you to celebrate the American Revolution, but not want to help your brothers and sisters before another revolution kicks off. It's hypocrisy. So let's get into this with some facts, though. Enough of me just talking about how I feel. Let's look at what's really going on. This is about to blow y'all's mind. Starting off a little slow, but y'all know how it goes. My preacher mode. So like I said, white America needs to know they're the ones being lied to. It's not blacks. And how can I say that? Because we know the truth. We're not being lied to. We know what's going on. It's just that we can't do anything about it in certain aspects. Or when we try to, we're given a label that makes us terroristic or evil. But we're not fooled by anything. We've been screaming the same thing for decades, centuries. I mean, really, if you want to really think about it, but decades we've been screaming where we actually believed that we had a voice and a chance to be heard. People were screaming during times of slavery, but there was no hope in those days. At least in the days of the civil rights movement, we believed that our voice had a power, which it did. A lot of change came from that, but blacks know the ugly truth. That's all I'm saying. And that's one difference that I want a lot of white people to know. There's a difference in how we look at things. There are certain things that white people lose their mind about that black people can go through, and it's just not that big of a deal. It's just not. That's why I look at the race, the differences in the people or whatever. Some people say there's no such thing as race. However you want to say it, I believe you. However you want to say it. I don't want to say the wrong thing. We all come from God and we're all going back to God. But I just want to say we do all know that there is a difference in black people and white people. And when you look at them a lot of times, I just see a difference in the composure of how they react to things. And it's just that black people, many more times, are just so much more hard body and guard body ready to deal with different trials and tribulations than what some whites may be. It's like even